Starless Dusk, Chapter 1, Part 3. Hello, Past. So, Gianna, if you don't mind me asking, why did you move down here? Edward asked. No, I don't mind. My mom is a single mom and she got a job down here. It's been hard for her ever since she moved from Forks. That's what she claims, I answered. Bella and Edward both choked when I said Forks. I smiled widely inside. After a few awkward seconds, Bella added, what was she doing in Forks? I decided I was going to say Charlie's full name, just to see their reaction. She lives there. She had a boyfriend, Charlie. Charlie's wife had left them 2 years earlier. When Charlie found out that my mom was pregnant with me, Charlie told her about his other 6-year-old daughter. She'd be 24 now. But anyway, Charlie stopped speaking to her, saying that he was protecting his reputation and his daughter, my sister. My mom got really sad and left. She still says to this day that Charlie Swam is such a player and so concerned to what people thinks about him. Good thing he didn't inherit that from him. It's no wonder he became chief of police. I laughed and so did Dylan. When I saw Edward and Bella's reaction, I knew she was my sister. Edward kept switching his eyes from me to Bella, who focused on me. Dylan's arms tightened around me again. He acted like he was going to launch me away from an attack, and I knew why he felt that way. But I knew they wouldn't do anything. They were in shock. I hoped. Charlie who? Bella stuttered. Swan, why? I asked maliciously. I knew she was my sister. I wanted to run to her and hug her and ask her about Charlie or what he was like, even if he didn't want me. Do you have a picture? I had an awkward silence for a little bit. Edward said, composing himself. Yes, wait here, I said while pulling myself from Dylan's tight grip. I ran to the front door and grabbed my bag and pulled my wallet out of it. I opened my wallet and to my little photo section. I flipped to the picture I had of Charlie, the one my mom had given me when I asked her about my dad for the first time. I calmly walked back into the room and handed Edward the open wallet. Dylan looked confused. Impossible, Edward said as he showed Bella the picture. Dad, she said quietly while she stroked the picture with her finger. I began to cry. My mom told me I had a sister. When I saw you and Edward in the woods, I saw the resemblance. I felt the connection, I sobbed and added. I've never met him. What's he like? Bella smiled and quietly said, he's great. Can I have a hug? I've really always wanted a biological sister, she asked while standing up. I smiled and wiped my face off of my shirt. Dylan was just flickering his eyes between us. Edward seemed like he was expecting this to happen now. I stood up and hugged my long-lost sister. My sister. God, you're freezing. Sis? I said like a child. She was hard and cold. Her skin was soft like marble. But she was my sister, no matter what. Yeah, it is a bit chilly, sis, she said while giggling a little bit. She spun around with me in her arms to Edward. So, darling, have you met my little sister? He stood up and smiled and hugged me. He was just as cold and just as hard. Baby, have you met my big sister and my brother-in-law, Edward? I teased. Dylan closed his jaw and stood up. No, I don't believe we've been properly introduced. Our day seemed like pure fantasy. It was like sugar-coated by the gods, like it wasn't real. How would you like to meet my family? They live just down the street, Edward asked. His and Bella's voices were like velvet. Whenever they spoke, I imagined a musical. They were inhumanly perfect. It wasn't fair. All of them? Bella asked, with concern in her musical voice. Sure, let me just call her my mom and tell her we can't make dinner. I giggled and excused myself. I dialed my phone. Hello? Carol asked. Hey, Ma, it's me, I answered. Where are you guys? Marcy and I are just about to eat. We can't make dinner, but guess who I just met? Gandhi? I don't know. Who? No, Edward and Bella. Who and who? She asked. Edward and Bella Cullen, our neighbors. I guess that's why I'm making a big deal about them. Do you want to know what's the big deal about me meeting them? I said enthusiastically. What? She asked. She's my sister. She's Charlie's other daughter. Mom, she's like the perfect big sister. We just met. She said Charlie would have liked me. There was a brief silence. Mom? I asked nervously. I'm here, she finally said. Tell her I say hello, I guess. Okay, wait, there's, well, when's the last time she's seen Charlie? She asked. Hold on, I said, putting my hand on the mic to turn to Bella. Bella? I asked. Yeah, she said, while she put on her coat. When's the last time you've seen or heard from Charlie? I asked. We were planning to visit him next week. Besides that, I haven't talked to him about 3 months, she said while sighing. Okay, thanks, I said. I pulled the phone back into my ear. Mom? She said she hasn't talked to him in like 3 months, but she's planning to see him next week. Can I go with them? I begged. Sure, thanks. I actually need you to come home first for a few minutes, she added. Is everything okay? I asked. She seemed worried. Yeah, see you in a few. Bye. I hung up. Kids, I'll be right back. Carol needs me for something, I said while turning to everybody. We'll come with you, Bella said happily. If you're going to meet my family, I want to meet yours, she added. Sure, I smiled. We walked to the house, and I instructed everybody to wait outside while I got Carol and Marcy. I walked inside. I heard sobs coming from the family room. Mom, where are you? I called while I navigated the dark house. I found my mom crying on the floor with an envelope and a small velvet box in her hand. I read it out beside her. Mommy, what happened? Why are you crying? I should have told you, she sobbed. These are from your father, she added while handing me the package and letter. I was confused while I opened the letter. It wasn't very long, but it was old. It looked like it had been read 1,000,000 times, and it had warped circles in it, like it had been cried on and dried in that manner. I began to read it. Dear sweetheart, I want you to know that I'll always love you, even though we'll never meet. I can guess that by the time you read this, knowing your mother, I'll be gone. I loved her. I wanted to keep you and her, with me and Bella, whenever she's here, in Forks, but she didn't want to be here anymore. I asked her to marry me, and she said yes, but then abruptly left with you. She was maybe 3 months pregnant. A month after she left, she sent me back the ring. It destroyed me. That's when I realized I'd never meet you. You're mine, too. Never forget that. I made her promise to give you this letter when you were old enough to understand. You're not even born yet, but when you are, I know you'll be perfect. I will always love you. Don't forget that. If Carol does give you this before I'm gone, come find me in Forks. It won't be hard to find. I'll be waiting for you. Bella will love you, too. She's always wanted a little sister. I love you, baby. You're my Gianna. With all my love, darling, Daddy. I was hysterical at this point. I noticed that the letter had new warped spots in it, from my own tears. He wanted me, and she kept me away. How dare she? That's not all, Carol sobbed. I told him I miscarried you 2 months later. I'm sorry, Gianna. I should have told you. I should have told him. I was trying to protect you. I was full of rage. You ran away from him after he asked you to marry him and told him that I died? How dare you? How dare you keep me from him? I screamed while standing up. I was crying. Gianna, I did it for you, she cried. No, Carol. You can't stand being second best. You'll never love or like anything that wasn't yours first, I screamed. I wanted to slap her. I wanted to kill her right there. I deserve that. But there's more. 3 days ago, I got a call from a friend of mine who still lives in Forks. Charlie got shot. Or that's what they think. They can't find him, baby. He's gone, she whispered in a breath.